I have mentioned this exact gaming PC in so many of my other gaming PC reviews that I think it's about time it gets a dedicated review. In this video, we're going to give you our honest and in-depth look at the ABS Cyclone Aqua. Today, we're putting this popular gaming PC to the ultimate test, and by the end of this video, you will know without a doubt if it's the one you should spend your money on. In just a minute, I'm going to show you exactly what you get in the box, how it performs in actual games, how well it's built, how loud it gets under pressure, and diving deep into the thermals to see how well it actually manages heat. We're also breaking down its price to performance versus the competition, so you're not paying a dime more than you should. And honestly, if you ultimately decide that this PC is not the right for you after anything that I say in this video, just keep watching because I'm also going to be sharing with you some alternative PCs that I recommend for every budget. They'll be linked down below in the comments and description, as well as tagged directly on this video or using a QR code if you're watching on a TV. I guarantee that by the end of this video, you will know if this PC is right for you or not. But if you still have any questions after watching this entire video, just shoot me a comment, and if you're publicly subscribed, I guarantee a personal response. All right, now let's rewind back into the past real quick and check out what came in the box. Inside the box, they give you a warranty card, a pretty basic quick start guide, power cable, a SATA cable for adding extra hard drives, and your Wi-Fi antennas. Design-wise, honestly, not my favorite for this price range. A very basic and boxy look, but the part that's a bit of a turnoff for me are the 4 massive thumb screws on the front of the glass. This also makes it one of the more tedious PCs to modify. Functionally, it is engineered pretty well. It's got 2 intake fans on the front and 1 exhaust on the back. The rest of the heat just flows out the top naturally. There's also this nice side strip of ventilation on the front for air to be pulled in from. A pretty standard air cooler for our CPU, which isn't anything special, but honestly, it's all you really need for a CPU that doesn't push that much power. To the right of our CPU, we've got 2 sticks of 16GB T-Create DDR4 RAM, but you can see here that the latest versions of this PC come with G.Skill Flare X5 DDR5 RAM sticks at 6000 MHz. The most important part of this PC, though, is this GPU. We got a Zotac Gaming 5060, which is okay, but the latest version of this PC gets an upgrade with an MSI Shadow 5060 GPU. Bad news for anybody planning to upgrade to big boy GPUs in the future. My 4080 Super from last gen won't even fit through the front opening. Thankfully, underneath a smaller GPU like this 5060, we've got enough room to access the bottom 2 PCIe slots for any expansion cards that you might want to add in the future. Behind the GPU is our main drive that our operating system and everything else is installed on. This SSD is a 1TB Kingston MV3, and when we tested it, we got pretty decent speeds of about 6200 megabytes per second read and about 5000 write. We also get 1 more slot for an additional SSD down here in the bottom corner of the motherboard. The one that we got is an ASRock B760M CD4, but the motherboard on the new one that you'll get is a little bit better with PCIe Gen 5 DDR5 RAM slots and actually has a USB-C port. The one that I have is all USB-A. Then swinging around to the back and removing the back panel, not much to see back here, but I am pretty impressed with how clean that cable management is. In the bottom left corner, there is room for and bracket holes for an additional hard drive cage, but unfortunately nothing pre-installed. Then lastly, in the bottom right, they give you a non-modular ABS 80 Plus Gold 650 watt power supply. Now when it comes to the software, if you're the type of person that loves to dive deep into the BIOS menus and tweak every last bit of performance, you'll have plenty to customize in here to take care of that itch. The RGB animations you can control by downloading the motherboard's default ASRock Polychrome RGB app, but you've got way more options using Signal RGB. That one is by far the best, and it's actually what I recommend on all of my PC reviews, and they pay me nothing to say that. You can see in our thermal imaging time-lapse from computer off to full-on gaming that as usual we do get some heat building up on the glass right next to the GPU and just above the CPU air cooler on the top of the PC. And taking off the side glass panel and moving in closer, we can see a little bit more in detail where specifically some of those hotter areas are. The large majority of my thermal testing was spent in actual game gameplay though. These were our CPU temps for several different games at 1080p. Pretty cool overall, and looking at the averages, you can see that it's one of the coolest CPUs that we've ever tested. That proves that this air cooler is definitely doing its job well, but also not typically a hot CPU to begin with. Now moving into 4K gaming, we're focusing on the GPU temperatures here because high resolution gaming puts a lot more pressure on the GPU and eases up on the CPU. And you can see in this overall chart that compared to the rest, it's about where we thought it would be for a 5060 GPU. Actually, kind of a bit cooler than average compared to other PCs with 5060s. And because everything stayed pretty cool, the fans did not have to work that hard either. This led to pretty low fan noise hitting only around 41.4 decibels during gaming. And as you can see in the charts, it's one of the coolest that we've tested yet. Now for the performance and gaming benchmarks, and up next, the most important part of this review, the price to performance ratios. For Cinebench R23, which simulates its 3D rendering power, you can see that we got a very satisfying score compared to all the other PCs in similar price ranges. The i7 in this PC performed exceptionally well with multi-core rendering and quite a bit better than that iBuyPower below it with the exact same CPU. And we got similar results in our other main 3D rendering benchmark as well. Our V-Ray performance score again shows the CPU in this PC to be a top performer in its category. For actual gameplay though, these were our average and 1% low FPS numbers that we got for several games at their highest graphic presets at 1080p, 1440p, and 4K gaming resolutions with no DLSS. These are some pretty respectable numbers for a gaming PC with a 5060. Then averaging all of those 1080p gaming FPS together and comparing with all of the other gaming PCs that we've tested, you can see that its overall average FPS was just slightly lower than that Skytech Shadow that we reviewed, but at the same time much higher sustained 1% lows, so it's actually a better pick here. It did drop in rank when it came to higher resolutions though. At 1440p, when the 5060 GPU started taking over, we got a bit lower FPS than we were hoping for. Actually, this kind of shows how impressive that HP Omen 16 League of Legends laptop was. That laptop is actually less expensive than this ABS Cyclone with better performance on top of it being portable and having a built-in monitor already. And for 4K, again, this ABS Cyclone did not rank too well. So not really a PC that I'd use for 4K or VR, unfortunately. Unless you really turn down those graphics settings or just need a PC to have access to PC VR games. Now for my favorite part, the price to performance ratios. Right now at the time of this recording, this PC sits at $1,500. That is honestly a bit steep for these specs, even in this insanely inflated PC market right now. Looking at the price to performance charts, you can see that at 1080p, it's almost as bad of a value as that horrendously priced Apex RTS that we just recently reviewed. I mean, recently trashed. And even worse at 1440p and 4K with a pretty abysmal dollar per FPS ratio compared to other similar spec builds. Overall, there are plenty of better options that I'm about to show you that are a better value than this one that I reviewed today. It's kind of a more uninteresting design, and I also don't like that it's not upgradable to larger, more powerful GPUs in the future. And this leads me to the PCs that I actually recommend more than this one. For only about $100 more than this ABS that we reviewed today, you can get this Lenovo Legion Tower 5i with a much faster 5060 Ti GPU. I thoroughly reviewed that PC and I can confirm that it's a solid choice. It's also got plenty of room for big boy GPUs if you want the freedom to upgrade in the future. If you're on a super tight budget and need to be under $1,000, then I would go with this Skytech Blaze Mini with the Ryzen 5 5500 and 3050. This is the bare minimum that I would recommend for semi-decent performance at low graphic settings. For those of you with a budget closer to $2,000, I would definitely go with this version of the Skytech King 95 that I reviewed with one of the best gaming CPUs, the 7800X3D CPU and a 9070 XT GPU. This was one of my favorite, if not my most favorite gaming PC designs, and I can tell from how many polls I've done that you guys feel the exact same way. We've benchmarked PCs with this exact CPU and GPU combo, so here are the exact FPS that you can expect with this one at every resolution with no DLSS at the highest graphic presets. But because the King 95 is such a hot pick, I predict it to either go back up in price or go out of stock pretty soon. So if that happens, you can also get a version of that Lenovo Legion Tower that we just talked about for about the same price, but slightly inferior performance and not as easily upgradable as that King 95. If you want top tier tier performance and can push to $3,000, then I would go with this Andromeda Insights with the 5080. We tested this exact configuration, so here are the FPS that you can expect for each game with the highest graphic presets at every resolution. And if you really like this one, there's also a 5090 version for the ultimate highest performance that you can currently get in a gaming PC if money is not a factor. Another benefit with Andromeda Insights PCs is that you get a 2-year warranty, double the standard. But an even better deal than that is this Skytech O11V with the same specs for only $5,000. I also reviewed this exact configuration of this PC, so here are the exact FPS that you can expect for each game with the highest graphic presets at every resolution. I know a lot of you prefer to buy from Best Buy, and they usually have very competitive prices, but this PC is actually hundreds of dollars more expensive on Best Buy than at Walmart, so you may want to abandon your Best Buy loyalty for this one. Now, if you do decide to purchase this PC or any of the others that I mentioned, then please remember to use my affiliate links in the comments and description below, or tag directly on this video, or using a QR code if you're watching on a TV, as I get a small commission at no cost to you for every single purchase made. And it's actually a major factor in keeping this channel going and getting better and better for you. Also, remember to like, comment, and subscribe with notifications turned on to stay up to date with all of my latest tech and gaming PCs. PC gaming is awesome, but trust me, please do not let it take over your life. What helps me mentally is getting outside, staying active, eating healthy, and spending more time with my family. Also, studies have shown that reading the Bible 4 times a week can massively improve your mental health, and I can attest to that. And if you are a little skeptical about the Bible, then check out the book or documentary, The Case for Christ.